Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. I'm Caboose.
I'm into the answer.
And so what we got for you guys here is another episode of our countdown to Endgame. We are so close.
Yes.
3 weeks to go.
3 weeks. Oh,
3 weeks to go. And today what we're going to be doing is breaking down that special look that we got. That trailer that gave us more footage than the second trailer for the movie.
Yes.
So this was something that was put out obviously to announce the ticket sales. We got our hands on some tickets.
Yes.
Crazy experience.
Thank God you did the dirty work, Caboose.
Yeah. I've never seen our Cineplex website crash for a movie ever. It crashed for Endgame.
I think we expected it.
I'm blown away.
Yes.
But all right, hey, before we get into our breakdown, we wanted to ask you guys, of course, if you could leave a like rating on the video as it shows your support, and we would really appreciate it. So if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. We wanted to remind you guys as well, we have our giveaway still going on. Leave us your topics. Leave us your things that you want us to cover for a future episode of That's a Wrap for the countdown to Endgame. And you can win a pretty big prize this month.
It's been a fun ride. Love the comments. Love reading them. It's hard to keep up with just great theories, great ideas. I can't wait to see it leading up to the movie and a little bit afterwards. Now, I did want to take a quick second to mention, Caboose, we have an obsession with hats. Man, we're coming strong today.
Yeah, we got this nice Captain Marvel one.
I don't know if you can see it. This is a Captain America black on black, and man, it is sexy. Anyway,
we have a really expensive obsession with hats, and we love your guys' comments always as well. Talking about
this is nothing. We've got 2 boxes to the side here just full of hats.
A lot. But all right, hey, we got the trailer in front of us here. We got a ton of notes breaking down everything here with this special look. We're going to play the trailer, scrub through it, break down some of the things that we have in our notes with you guys. So let's get into this. We're going to start off, obviously, the first major thing that happens in this trailer. We see this interaction with Bruce Banner talking to the Avengers saying, hey, if we go into this, I'm assuming to attack Thanos, we're going to go in short-handed, which is very interesting.
And you can already see right off the bat that Bruce still has apprehension about facing Thanos. He looks worried. He looks concerned. Whether they have a huge team individually, whatever it is, he cannot get it out of his mind getting his ass kicked by Thanos. He just can't. He just can't. He is so shook, and I think that tone is going to carry throughout this movie. I'm telling you, I hope he turns into the Gray or Red Hulk, whatever it is, and rages out. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get that, because they're really carrying that story on.
Well, we've seen promotional material with what looks to be kind of the interpretation of a Professor Hulk with Avengers Endgame, so we'll see how they're going to carry that out, because I wonder, it all comes down to what's the gap between Infinity War and Endgame in terms of how much time has passed by, because in that time, he could have consoled with Hulk. He could have been like, listen, let's work this thing together, and maybe he has full control of the Hulk at this point, and that's how he is Professor Hulk.
Because Hulk is something that when he's in Hulk form, you've never ever seen him knocked out. It takes a freaking tank just to hurt him, just to bruise him. He was on the floor, knocked out.
He was done.
So he was done. So anyway, we'll see how that pans out.
So that was really interesting, and I mean, he's right at the end of the day. If they're going to go attack Thanos again, this time they don't have the rest of the Avengers. They don't have people like Doctor Strange.
Smaller army than before.
They don't have people like Doctor Strange or whatever on their side anymore. So he's very right in that sense. Then we get some shots of the rest of the Avengers looking all sad. I think we get a little moment here of what is probably the session where Cap shaves the beard, which is just going to be an unfortunate event for the rest of the world.
It is. But whatever he does is incredible. Okay, whatever he does is incredible.
But yeah, so the rest of the Avengers, they're looking like they're beat. They're done. And honestly, I think at the start of this movie, even though we've seen, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, even though we have seen that Captain Marvel's with them, she's so extremely powerful. I think at this point, because Ant-Man has not jumped into the equation yet, they're probably at the point of like, there's no way our friends are coming back. Like, they're all gone, and that's it. And they're done.
And they're all just have worried looks on their faces that they can't do anything about it. And then this glimmer of hope, I think, with Ant-Man. And you made a great point, Caboose. This really looks personal for everybody. This isn't about going and killing Thanos right now and getting revenge. That's not even what it's about. It's about our friends that are gone. How are we going to get them back? They're so sad. It's such a personal tragedy.
And even not in bringing them back, even if they were going in with no hope, it's not about just killing Thanos because of what he did. It's about avenging the people that Thanos took out. And I love that.
It is. And you can see with Cap, he has not been able to tie up and bury that hatchet with Tony. So it's eaten him alive.
Absolutely. Because at this point, I think still he hasn't even known that Tony is still alive.
That's true.
So a lot of really interesting things that could happen here. I know you had some reservations about the trailer in general and seeing it. And maybe we talk about that.
I was really torn. This is one trailer I definitely not to see. We obviously know the events that occurred in this trailer. We saw a lot, and I'm telling you, I saw a lot of theories out there that it could be CGI. It's not. I mean, this is what it is.
Oh, for sure.
We know this is going to happen. We know that we're going to reconcile. We know Tony's going to come down. But I got to tell you, this is one instance I did not have to see it. I would have been perfectly fine not seeing this trailer.
So to counter your point, and I said this in the reaction that I put up for this trailer, I trust that the Russos respect us.
Yes.
I trust that, they get it.
Yeah.
They know that we don't
100%.
we don't want to go into this movie seeing too much.
100%.
So I think in that, even though we may think we have seen a lot,
yes,
I feel like certain things aren't what they seem. Certain things are definitely meant to be throwing us off.
Right.
And who knows what even ends up in the final movie. If you go back to the original teaser trailer for Avengers Infinity War, there's a lot in that teaser that's just not in the movie at all.
Oh, yeah.
Not a deleted scene, nothing.
Oh, yeah. I look back on our That's a Wrap countdown for Infinity War, man, when we were off.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's what's great. That's what's great.
So that's why, like, to counter your point, I know, and there's a lot of people out there who agree with you who say, we could have really done without seeing a lot of this footage. I think that the Russos respect us enough to know we don't want to see this stuff.
Well, don't get me wrong. I saw the trailer. It does not change anybody's mind, any shape or form.
Yeah.
We're going in strong. It's make $300 million first weekend. We're just as hyped as it is. But, it just took away a tiny little flavor from me because I am just desperately waiting for that Tony and Cap moment. But anyway.
I get where you're coming from because it's really cool to see the stuff in the trailer, no doubt.
Yes.
But how much cooler would it be to not see it in the trailer and to first experience it in the movie?
Right.
So moving on in the trailer, we see a shot here of Nebula with Rocket. This looks like it is the moment, coupled with the shot we'll see and talk about in a second, where Nebula and Tony first get back to Earth. Yeah. And I think this is the moment when Rocket learns that the rest of the Guardians have been dusted.
Yeah, she drops the news on him. So nothing big here. She drops the news on him. And it's good to see Rocket, even someone that's portrayed this little badass, badass raccoon, he's even a little vulnerable.
Yeah, and he's consoling with her, holding her hand, because not even just knowing that the rest of the Guardians have been dusted, but he does learn that Gamora is dead. She's been killed by Thanos. Right. So even in their mission to be like, let's bring back the people who were dusted, this is a sad moment for him because Gamora's to him probably just gone forever.
Yes, and you also got to remember, like, he has this kind of love-hate cool thing with Star-Lord. Remember when he left, he was like, I know the reason why you're going is because Thanos is not there. So he left him on a little bit just out of bad terms.
Right. Yeah. So that very interesting moment. And like I said, it's coupled with a shot here of Pepper hugging Tony. Tony looks very frail.
Yes.
And like I said, definitely looks like this is the scene, this is the moment when Nebula and Tony first arrive back to Earth.
Yes. And this is why, Caboose, I'm telling you, Tony has to drive this home with Pepper. He just can't let her down anymore. Now, obviously, it's going to happen again. He's going to come down. He's going to heal. He's going to get better. He's got to go back and bury this or right this ship. But he just can't keep letting down this woman that he loves.
Yeah. No, 100%. You're absolutely right. He looks so frail here, too. Works definitely in continuity with what we've seen in the original teaser trailer, that he was running out of oxygen and everything. And you were mentioning to me before we started rolling that this looks like it confirms that Pepper is not the one to be going up to save him. She's not doing no rescue. No, not doing no rescue mission. We have seen some potential leaks that maybe she is in the rescue armor, so maybe she gets suited up for the final battle or something. Right. But it doesn't look like in any way, shape, or form she is the one to save Tony.
I think I'm kind of convinced Tony's going to get that second win. They show that old school shot of Iron Man 1. He's going to get to work, and he's going to make it happen.
Yeah, because I'm less and less convinced about my initial theory about Captain Marvel being the one to save him. So I think, he's just... Maybe he just kind of has an epiphany moment in his last little breaths, and he's like, I figured it out. I figured out how we're going to get home or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But moving on, we see a lot more shots here of the Avengers mansion, of the rest of the Avengers. We get that initial moment again that we've already seen between Captain Marvel and Thor. And then we get a really cool moment with the Avengers assembled outside a costume, not wearing anything. Cap is... massive.
Just chiseled out of stone. No, I know I'm the biggest Cap homer ever, but just take a look at this for 1 second. Look at everybody else in this scene. Look at how, even Ronan, look at how skinny his Cap is just chiseled out of stone. But anyway.
Yeah. No, and you know what's interesting, though, about this shot, I think that's something we really need to point out here, is it looks like they're like, observing something.
Yes,
or they're
even maybe a little worried. Yeah.
And I think my theory is this is the moment, because the way that you kind of see the slightly confident look in Tony, I think this is the moment when the quantum realm suits are revealed to them, when they figure out, okay, this is what we're going to do. And
this
is probably the exact moment right before we see that shot in that initial trailer where they walk out in those Avengers suits, in those Quantum Realm suits. And I think that, yeah, Tony is probably the one to have built it alongside Scott Lang, Ant-Man. So that's what I think that's going on here. And then the following shot is where you're saying, we wish we didn't see too much in this trailer. We got a moment between Cap and Tony. This is incredible.
It is incredible.
It's amazing.
Just imagine we watched it on the screen for the first time. But it's okay. We saw. Now, I think there's still going to be some kind of shield exchange that we might see in the movie that's going to be amazing too.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, Caboose, one small gripe here. I'm starting to think, and maybe it's just because I saw the trailer and I saw this moment, I'm almost starting to think the encounter between Cap and Tony is going to be a little downplayed or not as hype as we think it's going to be.
100,000% disagree with you.
Okay, fair enough.
Because the Russos, again, respect us.
Okay.
And they will not make that moment something to throw aside.
Okay.
I'm telling you, even though we see this handshake between Cap and Iron Man and them trusting each other and that amazing line between them, Iron Man being like, you trust me, and Cap saying, I do, which gives me goosebumps every time.
It does.
I think there's going to be an even bigger moment when we see that trust brought back to Cap's way as Iron Man hands him the shield. Because one interesting thing to note about this scene that some people might notice or might not notice.
Yes, you have some good attention to detail.
Cap is wearing his Infinity War suit. Not any new suit. You can tell because of the tears on the chest.
And it looks battle damaged.
Yes, and the fact that the star is missing.
Yes.
That is the suit that he wears in Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
So he's definitely using that suit because this is probably something very early on in the movie.
Okay.
And he hasn't gotten to the point of earning the mantle of Captain America
Now,
back.
do you think there could be anything here, Caboose, with a time travel moment? Because his hair looks gray, his suit is battle damaged.
Yeah.
Could there be something funky going on here?
I don't know, but I don't think so. Simply because he's wearing the Infinity War suit. I think that this is just something very early on in the movie that we see, and that's just an exchange between the two
I got another second question for you. Do you think this is their first encounter, second, when, or...
No, not their first encounter, because we do see that Cap shows up to the Avengers HQ, and he's talking to Pepper and everything, so they probably have some sort of... I think we're going to get another one of the Cap's great head nods, where he'll look at Tony will look at him, and he'll give him the head nod,
All right.
So we'll see. I think this might be sort of a moment where Iron Man, because I think Iron Man's a little intimidated by Cap, especially after what they went down, or what went down between the two of them. I think he's a little intimidated.
He kicked the shit out of two people, so anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of the first moment where, like, Iron Man's got a plan, and he's working with Cap to make sure that plan is executed.
And it looks like this is some kind of mini battle scene here. It looks like there's some rubble and what they are doing. It might not be against Thanos, it might be against a minion or something. But
definitely looks like Earth.
They're going into some kind of battle on Earth, on ground here.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's just, again, such an incredible moment, seeing those two shaking hands. Then we get a shot of the Avengers going to space, and this is very interesting. So we're going to have a video coming out in a little bit talking about a scene description, and we get a little bit of what exactly is the context of this scene. But yeah, we see what is the original Avengers alongside Captain Marvel in her new suit as they're all heading to space on the ship that is remaining from Rocket Raccoon. So I wonder where they're going. I think we do know where they're going in our scene description. We don't want to spoil it here in this video.
We don't. Yeah.
But very interesting. You can see Captain Marvel is in her brand new suit, which I think looks fantastic.
It does.
I think it looks awesome. And then another interesting thing to point out is that Cap is wearing his Winter Soldier suit. So I'm pretty sure this lines up in the first teaser trailer when he's holding that little thing that has Peggy's picture in it.
Right.
This lines up with that scene where Black Widow's talking to him.
I think this is a time with some different characters interacting for the first time maybe on the ship. We'll probably get some good comedic moments here.
I think so. I think so. And it's just going to be really intriguing to see, where they're headed and what the mission is here. Because it is also worth noting that there is no Iron Man, none of that here, no Tony. So they may still not know he's back at this point.
Again, just, the timelines are always throwing us off.
That's something that we always try to figure out
keep it juggling
with these trailers. And then we get another shot here of Tony, Iron Man, holding a picture of him.
A quick little one.
Peter
We
Parker.
know of the dusted characters, the most emotional one was Peter.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So he's obviously missing the guy. He's a father figure to him. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, no, really, really good moment. And it is good to know that even though he's back, even though he's with Pepper, he's still lost a lot.
Yes.
Tony has still lost a lot in this fight against Thanos. He's not just all good to go and feeling better. Then we get a shot of what is Thanos' ship, And this is something that I don't see enough people talking about, but is something that is probably going to be really important.
I will give you credit here, Caboose, with your good eye. Yes.
Yeah, so we see Thanos' ship, and then we see two of those little donut ships landing in. I think one of them is departing from it, whatever. But the point is that Thanos has probably still got an army.
Yes.
And he has specifically probably got the Chitauri that we see from Avengers 1, because we see some of them on his ship in Infinity War. So with that,
it's a critical scene. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
And going back to that shot of Tony and Cap on Earth, it might be Thanos sending an army after them.
Well, in every movie, a consistent theme is the big bad villain has to have some henchmen, has to have some minions, has to have some henchmen. It's not going to be them battling Thanos the whole entire movie. There's got to be some people to beat up. So this is, I think, just a scene showing us that it looks like he still has an army.
It's a good way to pace the movie to allow there to be consistent action where they're not just fighting Thanos 3 times.
Exactly.
So that is good to note and worth pointing out that Thanos definitely looks like he's still got an army. And then one last thing, really important to point out.
We got some good ones here, kind of before making the video here. We came up with some pretty good ideas and theories
here. So we see this shot of Thanos, first of all, coupled with an amazing line from the character where he's like, something about your failures, where did that bring you?
Yes.
Back to me.
Yes.
Oh my, it's amazing.
It's pretty badass.
And we do see this shot of him with like this blue light coming down, which looks very similar to the effect that we have seen in previous Marvel movies of people coming down from the Bifrost.
Yes.
So, what's going on here?
So, this tells me a few different things.
Okay.
Number one, is he using the Infinity Gauntlet?
Right.
That's the first thing.
Because it could be just an effect.
But if we're looking at the effect, it's been different with the Infinity Gauntlet when he's using this space stone. And then we thought, when we looked at it closer, and you're right, is it Bifrost? And then I just came up with the doozy Caboose.
Yeah.
Is he wielding Stormbreaker? And oh man, I hope they do this. He somehow gets Stormbreaker. He's worthy. He can use it. He summons the Bifrost. And then Thor gets his hammer in this movie.
So how interesting would it be if technically, because of what Thanos did, he is worthy of wielding the Stormbreaker? Now I don't know.
Now I'll disagree with that one, but okay. Now, but I see what you're saying.
But on the same token, we don't know for sure what the properties of Stormbreaker are. If it comes down to whether or not you have to be worthy, or if you can just wield it with pure strength.
That is true.
Which also could be really cool if Cap wields it for that reason.
Well, you still know my theory,
Yeah. But I think it would be cooler if, yes, you still have to be worthy to wield Stormbreaker, because then it would be really interesting if the play here is what Thanos did for the universe does benefit it in the long run. And it means that he is worthy of wielding the Stormbreaker.
I'm thinking that one's far-fetched, because if it's still...
I'm telling you.
But regardless, if he holds it, oh man, I'm telling you. If he's in a fisticuffs with Cap, and he's going to go hit Cap, and Cap's going to stop it in his hand, oh man.
You'd have to call the ambulance. I'd go into cardiac arrest.
I can see that happening.
I'd go into cardiac arrest. But it was a really great shot. It was very... And it brings up a lot of questions, because that looks like the effect of the Bifrost.
It does.
Yep. All right, and then we get this shot of Tony. He is on this. Seems like it's another planet. There's a ton of rubble and stuff here.
This has been consistent in some trailers. This rubble.
We've seen this. We've seen this area quite a bit. We see a shot of Cap earlier in this trailer, which looks to be in the same area.
Nebula.
So it looks like it's all very consistent in this area that we've seen. But where the hell is this? Definitely doesn't look like Earth. But it looks like an area that has had structure, that has had places. You know what I wonder that this could potentially be? I wonder if this is Xandar. And for those who don't know, Xandar is from Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was decimated when Thanos went to go get the Power Stone. So I wonder if this is, because Xandar looked like, it was like a city. It was like an downtown area.
I'm kind of fully convinced that it looks like the final battle, if not at least a couple of battles, are going to happen in outer space.
For sure,
right?
100%.
I'm fully kind of convinced.
100%. I think that's what's going on here. We're going to have the Avengers fighting Thanos on another planet out there in the cosmos, and then we see the shot of the Trinity, the Marvel Trinity, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor,
just an incredible
walking
shot.
Up to Thanos. Thanos is sitting there ready for them. Probably this is where he hits them with that line of, where did it bring you back to me?
And maybe this is where he came down if it's the Bifrost or whatever.
Right.
Because you see from this scene, we can't see Thor's hands. We don't know if he's holding the axe or not. So you don't know what could have went down.
You're absolutely right.
Well, most of the time I am.
Anyways. you're right though. We don't see Stormbreaker, and you think we would. You know, if he had his hand down, we would see Stormbreaker.
Exactly.
So that's a great point. And you can see Thanos. He is sitting there. He's got this giant sword. For those who don't know, there's a lot of promotional material out there, and it's showing that Thanos has this weird double-sided sword. It's giant, and it's interesting because it's like, well, why would he need that? And I wonder now, even just going off of our Stormbreaker theory, could he have gone to Eitri, I think the name is, from Infinity War?
Nidavellir or whatever.
Nidavellir or whatever. Could he have formed his own axe that controls the Bifrost?
A lot of things kind of...
It
would be a really nice twist and nice for us to see. Oh, man.
Because I wonder if maybe he needs the power of the Bifrost to get from place to place because the gauntlet doesn't work as properly anymore.
That's correct. Yeah.
So many theories.
And just
so many theories.
Looking at this, it kind of really proves to me, whether this is a final battle or whatever it may be, these dusted characters... I don't think they're coming back. If not, until the end of the movie.
Very end of the movie.
I'm even starting to think there's going to be some funky way that they're not going to come back. There may be something that the Russos do here. I don't know. But expect
Black Panther 2 is still coming. Doctor Strange 2 is still coming. It is. They're coming back. They're coming back. Maybe not. You never know. Maybe not in this movie.
There's going to be something just like the Soul Stone in Infinity War. If not something, 2 or 3 of somethings that are absolutely going to shock the fans of the world in this movie.
And
I'm not talking about a death.
Yeah.
Some funky really
I get what
twist.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. Something very similar to what we're saying with Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
You know, a twist like that.
Exactly. And the Russos are very, very good at that.
One last thing that I wanted to mention as well, just looking at Thanos, the way he's sitting here, he kind of looks like he's already beaten and he's already weak.
Right.
So I wonder how interesting would it be? Because I think that this stuff, regardless of all this looking like it might be the final battle, I think this stuff is still very early on in the movie. I think we're not even past Act 2 when the Avengers are going out to fight Thanos. What if?
I know you got a good one here.
What if they just beat him?
Yeah.
What if they beat Thanos and the rest of the movie cuts back to what we got in Infinity War, where it takes over as Thanos' perspective, and he's the one who has to go back, be stronger than ever in that third act to defeat the Avengers once and for all.
What if his sole purpose, the rest of that half of the movie after they beat him, is not to dust off half of the universe, just to destroy and kill the Avengers?
Yeah, because
that would be a great motive.
Because maybe he starts to figure out they have a plan to bring back those dusted people. They have something that's going to work that will undo what Thanos did.
Yes.
And the rest of the movie is him going, I have to take them out.
Now the fans can see it. We are bringing the thunder here. If any one of these are right, Marvel's got to give us a call.
Yeah, no, I know.
We are bringing the thunder
Russos,
in this video.
Hit my line. Don't worry. We can work this out. We'll figure out the compensation later.
We are bringing the thunder. We're bringing
the thunder.
Yeah.
But all right, hey, that is the end.
I don't know if we
trailer.
left anything for the fans. We got to see what you guys can bring.
I know. We really broke this one down. There was a lot that we wanted to talk about with this trailer because, like I said, it showed more than the actual trailer did for the movie.
Yes.
So that's it. That's our breakdown now for the special look that we got for Avengers Endgame. 3 more weeks to go. Yes. I could not be more excited. And with that said, we're now going to kick it to you guys. If there's anything left that we potentially could have missed, let us know in the comment section below. And with that said, I'm Caboose.
I'm Ended the Answer.
Once again, if you could leave a like rating on the video, it shows your support, and we would really appreciate it. And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. The links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new.
That's a wrap.